So I know it's really common now for college graduates to end up moving back in with their parents, but I still felt like crap. I was back in my hometown, unemployed, sleeping in a room that still had old video game consoles and metal posters I had in high school. I had thought that getting a practical degree and a STEM major would ensure my future post-college, but my grades sucked. I didn't get into med school. I ended up in the same boat as all my friends who majored in art history and journalism. I figured I'd cave in a couple weeks, get some awful job in retail or food service. But all I could do right then was sit around and wallow. It only took a few days to get bored though. All of my old hometown friends had drifted apart. And besides, I didn't really want to see anyone. My parents had never gotten cable, and I had canceled my Netflix in an attempt to save my dwindling funds. And there's only so many Criminal Mind reruns you can watch before you want to smash the TV. None of my old books held any interest for me. I tried playing the violin again, but 4 years of neglect has essentially erased all of my skills, which did nothing to boost my negligible self-esteem, of course. So somehow, I ended up in the basement with our old photo albums. I wasn't really sure why. Nostalgia, maybe? I was certainly feeling like a child again, so maybe I wanted to revisit that. But we also never really looked at them for some reason. So there was some plain old curiosity. Maybe even just boredom. It took a while to find them, so I guess there was something motivating me. Other families had them prominently displayed on bookshelves or coffee tables in their living rooms, but ours were stuffed in an unlabeled cardboard box under the stairs. When I opened up the first one on the stack, I was surprised. My mom had clearly spent a lot of time on it. It was full of stickers and fancy writing and pictures cut into different shapes. All of that crap that suburban moms used to do in the early 2000s. I couldn't figure out why she had hidden them away after putting so much effort into decorating. Looking at the pictures momentarily distracted me from thinking about that. I started at the beginning, with my older sister's baby pictures. There was my mom, looking exhausted but happy in the hospital. And there was my dad, with a hairline that hadn't receded yet. And there was Carly, in frilly dresses and bonnets. And then in the next album, there was me, Andrew Michael McIntyre, born 7 pounds 5 ounces. The page was filled with stickers of balloons and teddy bears. How cute. Who would have thought I'd turned out to be such a failure? I kept flipping through the stack, catching glimpses of Carly and me as babies, then toddlers, then starting kindergarten. First days of school, birthday parties, class pictures, trips to the beach. The pages were filled with cute captions and multicolored gel pens in my mom's curly handwriting. But then, wait a second. The fourth album was completely different. No stickers, no gel pens, no captions, no pictures with scalloped edges and borders. Just plain photos glued on. An entire year went by in 2 pages. I went back to the third album, trying to find what changed. 5-year-old me and 7-year-old Carly grinned up at me for pages and pages, but then there was barely any record of us at 6 and 8. I tried to remember if something had happened. A death in the family? One of my parents losing their job? But I was drawing to a blank. I kept staring at the pages, looking into my eyes from 18 years ago. My eyes. Wait, those weren't my eyes. I didn't have brown eyes. Mine were blue, not even hazel. Nothing that could be mistaken for brown. Those weren't my eyes. That wasn't me. I sat there for at least a full 5 minutes, frozen, mind racing. Then I shook myself and tried to pull it together. Come on, Andrew, it's just a weird picture. These are old, the colors must have faded. Just look at another page, you'll see. Brown eyes, brown eyes, brown eyes. I went through every page. My eyes were chocolate brown, dirt brown, whatever you want to call it. But then I remembered the fourth album, the undecorated one. And yes, there it was. First grade me stared out of my skull portrait with big blue eyes. I tore through all of the remaining albums, all undecorated, mind you, with hastily glued in photos. And I had blue eyes in every single picture. The front door slammed suddenly, breaking me out of my reverie. I hadn't even heard the car drive up. "Andrew, where are you?" my mom called. "Downstairs," I yelled back, shoving the photo albums back into the box. "I'm just, looking for some old clothes, sweaters. It's freezing in here." Why was I lying? I ran up the stairs before she could come down and spend the rest of the night playing the model and try not to panic. But I couldn't stop the dreams. Eyes floated around all night. Brown eyes, blue eyes, and a 5-year-old face staring at me with his stupid brown eyes giggling. Morning. I woke up at 6:47 a.m. and shot out of bed with this weird energy, like I was late for a meeting with the president. I was going to figure this crap out and put it all behind me once and for all. And then I was going to go out, get myself a job, and pull myself together. First order of business was a simple Google search. Can brown eyes turn blue? Well, it turns out that there are a lot of people willing to pay tons of money for laser procedures to turn their brown eyes blue. That technology didn't exist 18 years ago. I combed through all of the news articles and medical reports, and I ended up on parenting sites where parents asked over and over why their baby's eyes were changing color, and apparently eye color can really change, mostly when kids are toddlers. Blue can turn green or gray. Hazel can turn brown, light browns can darken, but brown eyes don't turn blue. God damn it. This was supposed to clear everything up. I waited until my parents were at work before scrambling down the basement stairs and pulling out the albums again. This time I brought them upstairs into the better light and examined each photo. I hesitated for a second, then ripped the two of them out to compare. It's not like anyone really cared about them anyways. I scanned them back and forth, lining up facial features and staring at the eyes over and over and over. I couldn't ignore it anymore. That boy wasn't me. From the baby pictures up until age 5, there was some other brown-eyed boy in the family's photos. It wasn't just the eyes. The more I stared at it, the more I could see that compared to the 6-year-old boy, his nose was longer, his dimples were missing, his hair was a darker shade of brown. Holy crap. I suddenly remember something. My mom used to dye my hair back when I was in elementary school. I'd completely forgotten about that. I didn't even know when she stopped doing it. Did she dye it just to make me look like the other boy? So that was yesterday. And I'm thinking I'm losing my mind at this point. I moved the albums up into my room. I can't stop staring at them. I've replayed my entire childhood a million times looking for clues. Here's what I know. Number 1, I'm not the boy in those pictures. Until that first grade class portrait, there was some other kid. Number 2, something changed in between those photo albums. My mom stopped caring about taking pictures or decorating them, and they were hidden away. I rarely saw them as a kid. Number 3. My mom used to dye my hair darker. I never thought this was weird at the time, but who dyes their 6-year-old kid's hair? Number 4. I'm almost certain that my sister is the same. Between the albums, there is no change in how she looks, just that she's getting older. Number 5. I have very few memories of my early childhood, and I don't know where they begin, or if any of them were before age 6. I don't think I remember living with anyone but my parents, but it's all so blurry. Number 6, I'm definitely freaking the fuck out. I don't know what to think, but basically, my idea is that the other boy died, and for some reason my parents, should I even call them my parents, used me as a replacement. But that leaves the question, who the hell am I? Where did I come from? Didn't someone else want me? Why don't I remember? Was nobody ever going to tell me anything about this? I don't think I can just put this out of my mind, but I'm not sure if asking my parents is a good idea. I don't know who to trust. I guess I should start with looking up any news stories about my family or hometown to see if a 5-year-old boy died. I'm so scared. I guess I have to find out.